Hey guys, welcome to another Lunchtime review. Today I'm going to try the Swedish Style Meatballs. It's pork and beef and chicken meatballs with egg noodles and gravy. Looks like something my mom used to make when I was a kid. This is by Andrew Zimmern. I used to call him Zimmern, and I don't think that's right. Zimmern. It's a 10-ounce meal or 283 grams, and we bought these at Walmart. It was $5.94, so it's almost $6, so just keep that in mind, but we'll see if it's worth it. So one bowl, the whole bowl is 450 calories, and there's the other info for you. Of course, Tammy always has a good picture of all that stuff for you. It says, from Minnesota with love, a Swedish classic reimagined with my family to yours. Tender Swedish style meatballs perfected in a bed of egg noodles with smothered with a traditional gravy. I was fixing that sentence didn't make any sense. Okay, so we're gonna lift the film on the bowl to vent slightly. Place the bowl in the microwave, cook for 4 minutes, lift, film, stir, and then do it another 30 seconds to 1 minute. I'll probably do 45. I always try to get it right in the middle, and then let it set for 1 to 2 minutes to finish cooking it. So, let's see what it looks like. Okay, paper bowl. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meatballs. Yeah, 7 meatballs and some egg noodles. So I'm going to vent it. It's got a little pull tab right here. I'm going to vent it just a little bit right there. Get it in the microwave. I'll be back. All right, so here it is out of the microwave, and I lost the noodle. Get back on there. Make sure when you stir it the first time, you kind of flip the meatballs over because they'll get dry on the top. So you don't want them to get too dry. I'm going to cut one of these meatballs in half for you to let you see what they look like up close. Very tender. It popped, cut right open. Here's what they look like inside. Not too bad. They're, like I said, they're good and tender. They're not tough or dry. I've had like meatballs that were kind of dry and you couldn't hardly cut into them. They were so tough. These don't feel that way. So I'm going to get this over the table and we'll give it a try. Okay, so I didn't let it cool off very long. I'm gonna eat one of the half meatballs, the one I cut in half. Super tender meatball. I'm gonna try one by itself with some sauce on it, of course, but without the pasta, just to see what the texture's like. Yeah, super tender. It's almost like a meatloaf, but it's not as dense as a meatloaf. It's a little more loose than that, because a meatloaf tends to be very dense and like greasy. This is not like that. It's very tender. I won't say it's fluffy because it's not fluffy, but it's loose. It's not tightly packed. That's good. I like the texture of that. Let me try the noodles. The noodle texture for me is fine. Some people might think it's a little tough. They're a little like they're not quite cooked well enough. They almost have almost like a chewy texture to them. Like they're very dense and kind of hard. I mean, they're still easy to eat. They're not like, they're just dense and hard compared to a further cooked noodle. Like I said, I don't mind it. I like mine a little bit underdone anyway, so it's good for me. But if you really like a well done pasta, you may find that a little too firm for you. Maybe you go, and I stopped at 45 seconds the second time. Maybe you go for the full, what was it, full minute? Yeah, maybe you want to go the full minute just to let it cook a little bit more. I don't know. And that little bit denser, tougher noodle goes really well with the softer meatball, because the meatball, like I said, is fairly soft. I really like the texture of this. The textures for me go really well together. There's no, that I could see, and I looked on the ingredient list. Of course, I didn't read every single one, but I kind of skimmed through it. It doesn't look like there's any mushrooms in here or anything like that. So if you worry, and it doesn't say it has mushrooms, but I'm just saying I always liked Swedish meatballs with a little bit of mushroom. I don't see any, and I didn't see any on the ingredient list. I think overall the flavor and texture is really good. I like the texture. The flavor, you get that meaty meatball, which is, it doesn't taste like beef, pork, or chicken. It's just kind of like, tastes like meat. And the gravy's really nice. It's like a beef stock gravy, so it's kind of like a brownish kind of gravy, but it's not really like a really thick, heavy gravy, but it's kind of like that brown gravy you would get on like a good piece of meatloaf or a roast or something like that. That's what kind of gravy it is. And the pasta, like I said, it has a good texture to it, but you really can't taste this pasta. It just adds more texture and filling than it fills you up a little bit more than anything. The star of the show is definitely the meatballs and the gravy. I said this reminds me of what my mom used to make. Mom used to make, she would take ground beef, hamburger, ground beef, and brown it, and not really add much to it, just maybe some salt and pepper to it. Brown it up, crumbles, so like almost like you're making a taco meat. She would drain it off the grease, put cream of mushroom soup in there, mix that up, and then add it to cooked egg noodles and just stir it all up as like this concoction of kind of like meatball style kind of egg noodles. That's how she did it. Of course, it had like mushrooms and stuff like that in it, and it didn't have all these different seasonings. This one, you really can tell that these meatballs are not just pure like a ground meat kind of texture. They're softer than that. And you get the seasonings coming through as well. And the gravy's not just the cream of mushroom flavor, it's an actual seasoned gravy. So I really like this. I'm gonna give this one, I'm gonna give it, I actually like this better than some of the other frozen versions of Swedish meatballs. I like the flavor and texture of this a little bit better. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I really, really do like this, this meal. So Andrew did good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.